What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl Sha, and welcome back to the Shaa'Vaee Show. So today I am back with a review of Tyler Perry's The Oval, Season 1, Episode 2, titled Unforgettable. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Ruth and her cult crew kidnap Kaylee. Ruth says Kaylee doesn't want to go with her because her father speaks ill about her. First of all, Barry does not speak about you to his daughter. Secondly, even if he did, so what, okay? You left poor little Kaylee in a crack house. Now, I know everybody has their own issues, but you are not proving to be bettering yourself at all, okay? First of all, Nancy gave you the opportunity to sit in her house for 2 hours when it's supposed to be 1 hour to have a conversation with your daughter and chill with her. And this was without Barry or anyone else knowing, because Barry wants nothing to do with you, and he does not want you in Kaylee's life, okay? So Nancy was doing you a favor. The fact that you did not leave when she asked you to leave, and then you had your people run up in her house and try to take your daughter, of course Kaylee's not going to want to go with you. It's not even about Barry speaking ill about you. It's about the fact that you're scaring her. So why would she want to go with you? Nancy, I have a bone to pick with you as well. Barry said the answer was no. He specifically told you he did not want Ruth around his daughter. But you thought that you were doing the right thing as a grandmother to allow this cuckoo nest of a person to come into your house and take your granddaughter. Now you gotta drive around and look for Kaylee. You still didn't tell Barry where she's at, so now you're out here looking stupid. Then they come into your house and try to take your granddaughter, and you are defenseless. So Nancy, I'm upset with you. Gale lies to White House staff about Barry raping her. Now Richard's job is in jeopardy, and Barry is being held in the command break room for questioning. First of all, Gale. See, Tyler Perry, you gonna make my blood pressure go up with this show, okay? Because it seems like this first family is really out of the ordinary for real, okay? First of all, Gale, the only reason why you accuse Barry of this crime is because you came home drunk. My question is, why would you lie about something as serious as this just to cover up the fact or try to make people forget about the fact that you came into the house drunk? Did you forget the scene you put on before this even happened with Barry? No, you didn't. Not to mention, you also have witnesses. Now, I understand you're the president and first lady's daughter, so most likely the White House staff will take your side over anyone else's. But at the same time, there were witnesses there that saw you come into the house drunk. And they also saw that you asked Barry to escort you to your room. Then when you got to your room and Barry was with you, Gina was with you too, your maid. But you asked Gina to leave. So Barry stayed because you asked him to stay. Why Barry didn't leave, I don't know. Because if I was Barry, I would have left, because that would have been red flags for me in the first place. So then you try to go down on Barry. And Barry did not want your services. So he pushed you. I guess you were drunk. You stumbled. You hit your head. You wake up and then you come up with this lie that Barry did this to you. And then you're not thinking about the consequences that he might have to face. Nor are you thinking about what comes with this kind of accusation. All of the things that you have to go through. It's not just with the courts, but you also have to get DNA samples from your body. And clearly you don't want that because you're lying. Dawn calls Lily while she's getting her freak on with Bobby in a bathroom at Charlotte, North Carolina airport. Lily, first of all, what in the bougie White House is going on? This says a lot about your character. You just met Bobby less than 24 hours ago, and now you click your little heels into a bathroom at an airport and you are getting it on with this man. Not to mention you are married and your husband is waiting for you to come home because you missed the inauguration and you're supposed to be his date. So don't act sad or surprised or scared now when Bobby is showing you who he really is, because clearly it's not just the cookie that he wants from you. He wants something else from you. I'm not sure exactly what it is though, because when he empties Lily's bag all over the floor and he's like, "Where's your money?" He starts scaring her. And she's like, why are you doing all of that? Like, is it because you, like, do you want money from me? Is that what this whole thing is about? And he's like, no, I'm just trying to make the situation as uncomfortable for you as possible so that you don't forget this. Okay? So Lily's getting scared now because she's like, who did I just sleep with? What did I just do? Now, while her and Bobby are getting a freak on, Don calls her in the middle of their session. So I guess when Don called her, she snapped back into reality and realized that, oh shoot, I have a husband. Oh shoot, I'm in the airport bathroom. Oh shoot, I'm doing it with a man that I don't even know. Okay? Not to mention, Bobby is wearing a wedding ring. And Lily asks him about the ring, and he acts like he does this on a regular. So she's like, well, do you do this all the time? Do you do this often? And he's like, no. But then he's like, he's chuckling and just giving off the vibe that this is not the first or the last time he's probably going to do this. So obviously Lily is getting scared. So she's trying to get her things together and she's asking him to leave the bathroom and he's not leaving. Then, not to mention, they're going back and forth and she's just like, you need to go, you need to leave. I don't know what came over me. And he's like, well, don't feel guilty now because it didn't happen, okay? But he says to her, I'm making this moment so uncomfortable so that you never forget. She says, believe me, I won't. Then Bobby says, you have no idea how much you won't. Oh, I don't know what that means, but I guess we're going to find out later on in this review. The first son, Jason, gropes a girl at the inauguration as she's dancing with her guy friend. A Secret Service agent sees all of this happening. Then he non-forcefully escorts Jason away from the woman. So when I say non-forcefully, I mean there was no ruckus, there was no, excuse me, what are you doing? There was no intervention. What the Secret Service did was just gently place his hands on Jason's shoulder and moved him away from the woman, okay? So now when Jason does this thing, mind you, it's at the inauguration party. So you can just imagine how many people are there now, okay? Now in this area that he did it, the gentleman that was dancing with the young woman who he groped saw this happen. Obviously, the young woman knows that this happened because it was her body, so I'm sure she felt it. And if anyone else was paying attention, they would have clearly saw that it wasn't an accident, that Jason actually intentionally groped this young lady. So I don't know what's up with this first family, but they all have some real serious, big time issues. The first family arrives to the White House for the first time after the inauguration to meet their staff. Don introduces Richard to the First Lady and the President as their new butler, their head butler, who is a brilliant young man. So now everybody at this point, all of the staff, they're lined up and they're, welcoming the First Lady and the President into the White House. So they kind of forget all of the issues that transpired beforehand with Gale and her dramatics and her coming into the house drunk and then accusing Richard's son Barry of touching her. So now as the President and First Lady come in, it seems like everyone has forgotten everything that just took place. So as Richard is being introduced, he smiles and everyone seems, a little bit happy because, the First Lady and President have just came in. This is a very big moment for people. But then everyone tenses up when Veronica asks if Gale is there. So everyone remembers, oh shoot, now we gotta deal with this situation. So they let her know, yeah, Gale's here. She's been here for a while and she's probably in a room, okay? So then the staff disperse. Richard tells Don about Gale and the Barry situation and that she is lying on his son. Nancy is driving around looking for Kaylee. She's trying to get in touch with Richard, but obviously he's not answering because he's too busy trying to figure out what's going on with Gale and Barry. Why is Barry being held for questioning when everybody in the White House knows that Gale is lying? So obviously nobody knows where Kaylee is because these cult people probably have some type of secret location. So Nancy is driving around by herself and she has no support, nobody to help her. So she ends up calling Barry's girlfriend, I think her name is Shaa'Vaee, And so they start to drive around to continue their search for Kaylee. Richard's friend Sam, who's the president's Secret Service agent, tells Don that Barry is his godson and that he believes him. So before Don goes into questioning, he asks Sam what's his take on the situation, and that's how Sam responds to it. So now Don goes into the room to interrogate or question Barry about the incident that happened. So now it seems like Don has a rapport with the first family, or at least knows the president well, or at least knows them enough to know that they have some issues. So when he goes in to speak to Barry, Don seems kind of skeptical, but he can't show that to Barry. So obviously he does his job and he asks Barry these questions. The president gets caught talking to his side piece while he and his wife are in the room. Looks like they're getting ready for bed. This is after the inauguration. So he leaves his phone on the bed, and while he gets off the phone, he's like, okay, John, I'll talk to you later. Or he says something, but he mentions the name John. But Veronica knows he is not speaking to no John, nor is he speaking to a man. He is speaking to that side piece of his that just seems to follow them everywhere they go. So Veronica gets the president's phone, and she calls the side chick back, and she says, you need to be careful. I'm the kind of chick who will send someone to your door. See, y'all, this is what I said in the beginning at my first review of this show, that I feel like Veronica Franklin gives me Veronica Harrington vibes, okay? It's something about the Veronicas. They just fiery, they don't play that, and they got a lot of connections, both legally and illegally, okay? So Veronica and the president get into a heated conversation or a heated argument because he has a side chick. So he ends up calling her the B word because she throws his phone in the toilet, okay? And she's like, you know what, call me a B all you want, but I'm the B that helped you get in the White House. I'm the Ivy League graduate and you're just a small town farm boy. Let's not forget that. So obviously that hurts the president's pride just a little bit. So he tries to clap back at Veronica, and he starts reading these comments from people that were talking crap about Veronica. So some of the comments are, Veronica's the typical angry black woman. Why would he be with her? Beauty and the, he doesn't complete the sentence, but you can imagine Beauty and the Beast. So Veronica is getting a little bit upset with that because it's like, okay, don't try to come for me. They can say what they want to say about me, but at the end of the day, this is what they feel about all black women who are in positions of power. We either too nice or we too damn mean. There's no in between, okay? So in the middle of their argument that they're having with one another about who's more powerful than who, or who got who where they are, or who is better than the other person, Don tells the president and first lady that Gale is accusing the butler's son of touching her. So obviously, as any parent would be, the president is pretty much furious. And he's like, I want to go see my daughter. I want to talk to her. Why was that guy even here in the first place? So Don's like, well, Richard has a bad back and the son was helping him out and bring stuff up here. So now the president's planning to go talk to his daughter Gale. But Veronica's like, no, I'm going to talk to her. Because now they have to perform on a rape kit because they have to make sure that there's, the proper DNA so that they can figure out how to move forward with the situation and if Barry should be charged. So Veronica smells BS from a mile away and she's like, let me go talk to her myself. So Veronica goes in and she wakes Gale up, who is sleeping after her night of drinking and making false accusations. And Veronica's just like, I want you to tell me the truth. Did he do it? And Gale keeps saying, yes, he did, Veronica's like, you are lying. No, he didn't. And Gale's like, yes, he did. How do you know? So Veronica says, there's a boy out there accused of hurting you. We need to be sure he's prosecuted, right? And Gale's kind of looking confused like, oh, I ain't think about it that far. I didn't think it was going to get to this far. I was just trying to get out of the fact that I came home drunk. But since you're saying that, yeah, he needs to be prosecuted. You're right. So Veronica's like, you want him to suffer, don't you? So Gale's like, ooh, this is getting kind of serious. Her face is like, I didn't even think about that either. Let me think about that. So then eventually, Veronica asks Gale the $1,000,000 question, did you come home drunk? And Gale admits that she did. So Veronica's just like, you know what, I just cannot deal with you. I can't deal with your father. I just can't. I can't deal with this family. So now she eventually gets Gale to admit that Barry did not touch her at all, okay? So now Veronica leaves and she tells Don to let the boy go, okay? And Don questions Veronica's motive or questions Veronica's decision. And Veronica's like, listen, don't you ever question me, okay? And not to mention, Gale is a liar. Don't believe anything that she has to say. Anything that she says to you is always going to be a lie. And then she walks gracefully back to her room and she says, the next time you want to wake me up out of my sleep, make sure it's for something that is worth it, okay? Priscilla, the head chef, is waiting with Richard to find out what's going on with Barry. Don enters the room and says they are letting Barry go. So Richard obviously is happy to hear this news because he didn't know why his son was being held in the first place, because there were so many witnesses who've seen or who know that Gale is lying. Period. So Don shows his behind. See, I thought Don was like a nice husband and maybe Lily was the foul one because of how like their conversation went when he called her in the bathroom and just told her how much he loved her and missed her and couldn't wait for her to get home. So, you know, he sold me on that. So I'm thinking, okay, Don's a nice person. But no, you one of those people that are close to someone who is at a high level of superiority, and you feel like because you're close to them that you can speak to people the way you want to. So Richard's trying to, you know, he's walking out so he can go get his son and take his son home because all of this is just nonsense and crazy. And Don says, Richard, you can thank me anytime. So Richard takes a deep breath and he says, thank you, sir. See, Richard better than me, because I would have been like, So now Richard and Barry, they're in the car on their way home, and Barry is distraught. I mean, he is crying and boo-hooing because he thought he was really about to go to jail, and he's just upset that somebody would accuse him of committing a crime that he would never commit. So Richard tells Barry that he's got to keep all of this on the hush, that he has to forget this night ever even happened. And Barry is upset because he wants justice, okay? He wants Gale to get out and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to everybody so that Barry's name is clear. He doesn't want this swept under the rug. He doesn't want this to be a, oh, well, let's just forget this happened, because you never know, this could resurface. So Richard's just letting him know, listen, we are dealing with some pretty powerful people, okay? We're not going to be able to win this battle. Just drop it. I'll talk to them tomorrow to see how things go. But for right now, you have to just pull yourself together, because you can't go in that house and let your mother see you upset, because then she's going to find out and we cannot tell anyone what happened. This has to just be between us and that's it. So Barry's like, fine, I got it. But then he's like, okay, well, when am I going to get my phone back? At least, can I have that back? And Richard didn't know that they took Barry's phone. So I guess when Richard goes back to work the following day, he's going to talk about the situation that happened, or make sure that Barry's name is indeed clear, that this is not just some let's sweep it under the rug for a little while, and to see where Barry's phone is and why they still have it. So the police come by Nancy and Richard's house to let her and Shaa'Vaee, Barry's girlfriend, know that there has been a lot of complaints about the Accusations cult, and that some of the children that were taken are legally with their parents. So basically there's nothing they can do about Kaylee missing. And with the Accusations cult, I think that's how you say the name, the fact that y'all already have a lot of complaints from them, y'all should be on this like ASAP. And I get the fact that they're legally with their parents, but Barry has full custody of Kaylee, so there should not be any reason why Kaylee is with her mother, okay? So it looks like Lily is not the only one out here with secrets, y'all. One of the Secret Service agents has a thing for Don. It's either that or him and Don are lovers on the low. I'm sorry, but he was just super persistent. Like, Don is leaving the White House for the day after Veronica told him to let Barry go. he had enough, so he's ready to go home for the day. And one of the Secret Service agents is like, oh, I'm gonna walk you to your car and make sure you get there safely. And Don is like, I don't need you to do that, okay? I'm cool. I don't need you to walk me to my car. And he's persistent, like, no, I really want to make sure that you get there. And Don's like, I want him to take me. He's gonna take me. There's another Secret Service agent that's around too. So he's like, no, he's got this. Don't worry about it. So then as Don walks off, the Secret Service agent that Don left hanging is kind of like disappointed. So you know when somebody has a disappointed look in their face when somebody refuses their services or something, it gives off the vibe that you kind of got a crush on them, that you like them or something like that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but that's just my theory, okay? And based on the previews for next episode, it looked like Don got some explaining to do. Barry and Richard get home and find out Ruth took Callie. So now y'all already know Richard and Barry had a long night as it is. So they come home to find out that Callie has been taken by Ruth. And they both just trying to figure out, well, how the hell did Ruth take Callie if Callie is supposed to be here? So automatically, Barry accuses Shaa'Vaee of not taking care or taking proper care of Callie. And he says, you couldn't stand me having a baby by somebody else, so you let her take mine? If I was Shaa'Vaee, I would have been like, first of all, I'm gonna need you to calm down. I'm gonna need you to speak to your mother because she's the one that did it, okay? But Shaa'Vaee was cool about it. And she didn't rat Nancy out, but it got quiet. It was like awkward silence. And I know Shaa'Vaee was probably like, any day now, Nancy. And then Nancy, in her low voice, said, I did it. It was me. You're damn right it was you, Nancy. Confess. You need to confess because nobody told you to do that in the first place. That is not your kid, okay? I understand you are a grandmother and we all love our grandmothers dearly. I know we all can agree, but Nancy, that is not your child and that was not your place to do that. And I know you really meant well and you thought that you were doing the right thing, but that was not your place. Your son gave you specific instructions to not let this woman near his daughter. And then, Nancy, you should have had the common sense to know, okay, maybe Ruth is not the best person to be around Callie, considering the fact that, yes, you are a part of this cult, and you just seem like you're not all here. Like, Nancy, you saw her walking away from your driveway last episode, talking about some, bring the little children to me, or however that song goes. You saw her doing that. That's a red flag to me that something ain't right up here. And whoever this highest power is, I don't know how I feel about that. But see, Nancy wasn't thinking logically, she was thinking emotionally, okay? So you know what, Nancy, I don't know if Barry can forgive you for this, and because of that, I'm holding a grudge against you for the next couple of episodes until you prove yourself, until you prove that you are sorry about this. So Barry obviously gets upset. And he kind of raised his voice at his mother. And Richard's like, all right now, I understand the situation that's at hand, but don't talk to your mother like that, boy. So now, Barry leaves the house and he goes out to look for Callie. Although Nancy and Shaa'Vaee are like, listen, we looked all over the place and we can't find her. So hopefully, next episode, Barry finds Callie. And hopefully she is not harmed and she's still alive, okay? Bobby follows Lily home. He goes upstairs to her bedroom. Lily draws her weapon on Bobby as Don walks into the room. Okay, let's back up really quickly. That was a lot to take in real quick. Let's back up. First of all, so Lily gets home from flying from the airport or whatever the case is. So Lily finally arrives home in DC and she walks into her house. And it seems like Barry beats her to the punch, okay? Barry followed Lily home, but although he followed her home, he beats her there. It didn't really make sense. So she's telling him to get out of her house. And she's like, I don't know what you want. I don't know why you're here, but I need you to go. And Bobby says, so Lily's like, why are you doing this to me? And Bobby's like, oh, I'm just doing this to bring some excitement into your life. Some excitement? Don't you think it's a little bit too far, Bobby? This just is going a little bit too far, okay? So he ends up making himself at home and he's unbuttoning his shirt and he walks up to Don and Lily's bedroom. So now Lily goes to get her weapon and she's like, I told you to go. Now you're gonna force me to do something I don't want to do. And Bobby's like, oh, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. And Lily's like, I will. Test me. Try me if you want. I will. So obviously Lily really does not want to do this, and I can tell she doesn't really have the guts to do it. But it's not until Dawn walks into that bedroom and then she just pulls the trigger. And I think it was just off of like a reaction. Like it was a quick reaction for her, because how else is she going to explain why this man was in her house? Now before she pulls the trigger on Bobby says to Lily, well, you're not gonna do it because like what's gonna be your alibi? There's so many surveillance videos of us at the airport, so it's going to show that we were at least having a conversation, we were at least talking, and at the time that we were talking, there wasn't any confrontation. So who's gonna believe you? Like, whose side are they gonna be on? And Lily's like, listen, damn it, I don't care how many surveillance videos y'all have, I do not care, okay? You can't be here, because if my husband comes home and sees you here, it's over for me. It's a wrap. And Bobby just does not understand that. He does not get that. So Lily's reflexes kicked in once Dawn walked through that door, and she ends up pulling the trigger on Bobby, and I think two shots rang out from that weapon. So I don't know. So we're gonna see what happens with that next episode. This is the second episode, y'all, and Tyler Perry is giving us tea, too much tea to spill. This first family is just out of the ordinary, just not the traditional first family. I don't know what to expect from them. I'm a little shook. I'm a little shook by their presence. I'm a little shook by their behavior. Okay, everybody in this show just seems to be off. And correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't the president's side piece look like Ruth? Like, is Ruth playing two different characters? Does Ruth have a twin sister? I don't know what's going on, but it looks like the side piece looks just like Ruth, okay? But that might be just be me reaching. But anyway, y'all, if you like this video, be sure to comment below and let me know your thoughts on Season 1, Episode 2 of The Oval. Let me know who your favorite character is, who your least favorite character is. What do you think is going to happen next episode? Be sure to subscribe and tell your friends to join our conversation in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, and I will be sure to see you all next time with another review of The Oval. Thank y'all for rocking with your girl.